you don't have to compile a code. So what IntelliJ does actually, it compiles the code at the runtime. So if you are typing something wrong, it will directly give you error here that yeah, this is not allowed, or this type parameter is not allowed. So it will directly show it in red. And if anything comes into red, then that is something to worry about. That means we are writing something wrong. And see, everything is good. The code is clean right now. It is working right now. So IntelliJ actually uses this. It actually gives you the shortcut. So if suppose I want to write this whole thing, I don't have to write it like this, like type everything. What I can do, I can type like PSVM. So this is a shortcut. So if you see in right side, it says main method declaration. So if you enter it, see it entered this directly. If suppose this is the line which was actually printing something in this console. So if I want to write it, I have the shortcut for that. IntelliJ provides a shortcut for that as well. Sout, that if you see it here, prints a string to system.out. I enter it, see it, I have the whole command. So now let's go into the details right now. So we created our first project. Okay, we saw it is not can say we saw all these things. Okay, now let's see what is package actually. So I told you this src package that was created by default. So what I want to do, I want to create a package right now. So how can I do? I can just go into this particular folder structure. Maybe I can go from here as well. Old, new. Maybe let's go. Directory. If I write directory, if suppose I want to write something like suppose directory name developer. Okay, so I created this directory, and suppose if we want to have inside this developer many subdirectories, what I can do, I can create new directory inside it. And there is a better way actually. What I can do, I can go here, I can create a directory. If suppose I want to create some subfolders, like folder inside that folder there is another folder, what I'll do, I'll suppose write this developer, and then I put a dot and then write the another name, then another name demo. So if I enter it right now, so you see there is this folder created. Okay, so this particular project, it is in idea project, my first program. So I'll go into that location. Okay, so it has created this directory here. Why did it create it like this? Okay, sorry. This is just the folder. Okay, when you want to create a package, you need to go into this src. That is a default project or package. You go here, you create a package here. Now if I suppose I write this, the same thing which I wrote there, developer.college.demo, I write it here. So it has created this particular link. So what I can do it right now, I can go into this src folder. See, there is one folder develop, inside that this college, inside that there's a demo. So it has created that tree directly. You don't have to create, you don't have to go and create new inside each and every directory. You can just create a hierarchy or a tree here, and you can just, hello? Sorry, I can't hear you. Was there a question for me?
No, I think it's just a side talk, so you can go on. Yeah.
Okay. So now what I could do, I could create a files inside this package, so that at least I have a different file inside different package, so that at least when I'm going through the code, I can see there's a package with develop, with college demo, and then I have some file inside this. I can create another package here. Suppose its name, should I write, like suppose demo dot first. Okay, so now I created them. So now there are two packages created, two directories created. So one is develop, another one is demo. Inside demo, there is my first program. Inside develop, there is college, then demo. And then we can actually place our class file. We can create a demo class here, and we can just place one class file inside this, one class file inside this. Okay, why these packages are mandatory? Suppose you want to build a different functionality, okay, which uses the same class name. Okay, so what you can do, if suppose there is this my first program, if I create the same class or same file inside this package, suppose this, it will not create it because there is a file already exists. But inside a different directory, what I can do, I can create the same class. See, now we have my first program here as well as here. So this directory gives us the function feature for the creating a same type of files in or same name of file inside two different directories. If suppose we want to build a functionality which has some different things, but the name should be same. So we can have it like this. So this is how we create a package, and the need of package is something just to differentiate, to have the code or the application more readable, to find things easily, so that at least you can, when you're building application, you have some significance that why this particular file is inside this package. Okay, so this is how we create a package, and this is how we create the files inside the package also. Okay, and so usually package name conventions follow lowercase. It is recommended to have lowercase, and package actually they provides an encapsulation of different classes, group of classes, sub package, and interface. So those are different. And now the main part of the Java, which Java is built upon, are the object and class. Class is something we just created. Object, we haven't seen it right now. So first, let's go into the object. What is object? Object is a real world entity or entity. You can say an object, just a simple object. Suppose a dog can be an object. Okay, a pot can be an object. So in real world, object has two things: state or behavior. Suppose a dog has color, its name, so those are called states. But its behavior is it barks, it eats. So those are the behaviors. So in software world also, the object is something which has state and behavior. So states are the fields and behaviors are the methods. So we can go into methods again. And class is something which is responsible for object creation. Class is something which we created just now, where we can include all the methods, all the logic, and finally we can create an object of it. Object is something, an instance of a class. Suppose we have created a class in one of the project. Now we want to refer that class. We want to use that functionality. So how we can use it? We can't write the whole code again. We should not write that. We can write, but we should not write the code, because then there's no use of this programming if you're rewriting everything. So what you can do, you know that there's a class created for that type of work. You can create an instance of it. Maybe I would say instance kind of thing is a how should I say? Suppose a copy of it, a duplicate copy of it. So you can create multiple duplicate copies of a class, so that at least you can use it on your purpose. So those are objects which are inside a class, which are an instance of class, and class is something which has all the methods, features by which you can create an objects. Okay, now when we see a method, what are the methods? So methods or functions are like behavior or task which you want to do. If suppose from a project, from an application, you want to add two numbers, so that addition is a method. You can do that addition. You want to subtract something, that is subtraction is a method. You want to multiply something, multiplication is a method. So method, just understand, is like a different task. Okay, and we'll go another program for this addition program later, but before that, first we want to have some things so that at least you can understand what all things we are going to use. We'll have something in practical. So the next thing is identifier, modifier, and variables. Okay, first let's take I'll start from this modifier. What is modifier? So in our project, you see there is one, this keyword public. Okay, so this is a modifier. Modifier is something which actually gives the visibility of your code. So means what you can, I told you that it is secure. You can, Java is secure. So you can actually secure these classes with this modifier as well. Suppose if I write this as a private, okay, it will not allow, but actually there are different types of modifiers like this: public, private, protected, and default. So if suppose I have different classes, okay, here, and if I want to reuse those classes, if you want to create an instance of that class, so these modifiers are used. So if suppose that class is always public, okay, but if suppose a method is either public or private or protected or default, so if it is default, then it is visible to the package. So in the whole package you can use that class. If it is private, you can use that particular method into a class only. You can't use that into different classes. If it is public, then it is visible to everybody in the whole project, in the whole application. You can do that. And the last thing is protected. Protecteds are something which is visible for package and subclasses. Okay, so this is something which is written. We can use it right now. Then we'll see. Identifiers. Now, what are the identifier? Identifier is just like identification, the name of the method, the name of the class, name of the objects. Those are the identifiers. And the last thing is variable. This will be used majorly. So I just wanted to go through it. Variable is something when you are building a program, what you want to do, you want to have a memory location. Means I don't think so I should go into this. Okay, let's create another program and then we'll go into it. Okay, what I want to do right now, I'll delete this demo. So that so what I want to do right now, I want to make a program to add two numbers. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'll create a class name, suppose addition. Okay, so now there's this class created. Okay, and I told you there should always be a public static void main key statement so that a Java class knows that its execution will start from here. So I'll have that. I'll type this as a shortcut. I'll have this is here. So this was the scope of the class. This is public static void main. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to create a first method right now. In this class, I can create a method. So how do we create a method? Method statement is something you need to specify in the modifier like public, private, protected. Suppose I like it public right now. Public, a name of the method. Name should always be starting from a lowercase. Suppose add numbers. Okay, so this is a method I want to create, and each methods have their scope. So for defining a scope, we need to use these curly brackets. Okay, so now it says error. Okay, make add number return void. So what is void right now? Suppose just because it is giving a recommendation, I'll just add it right now. Okay, so this is how we create a method. This is a modifier public. It is visible to everybody. Visible, like not eye visible, but it is something, it is we'll discuss it later. So this is void. Void is a return type. Suppose if you want to do a task, you want to get some output out of it. So if suppose you want to add a number, then you want to find a result of it. Means what is the result right now? So right now it is void. I'll tell you what it is. This is the method name, add two numbers. It is in camel case, so it is actually good. Always specify it into camel case. Okay, now what I want to do, I'll write something. I'll write int a. I'll write it and then we'll explain it. And now I write this. See. Now I have, this is a method. What it actually is doing. This int and this a. So suppose we want to add two numbers, then we need to have those two numbers. So this int a, this is a variable. So variable is something you have. This variable, this is the name and this is the type. These are the variable types. So if I go into, yeah, so variables are the state of this particular class. So there are two variables, a, b, or even three. These in, see, this is how we define a variable. So the first thing which we are specifying it here, this is a data type, means that variable, what type of data it holds. So there are different data types like integer, float, string, double. So those are nothing. If you want to store a number, you need to use this int. This is a keyword, int, keyword for data type. And this, the second statement a, this is just a name. I can write anything here. I can write Ankush also here. So this is just a name of this. So this is the name and this is the value, means what you want to have that value. So this again, a has the value of 10. And now I defined another variable. This is int. This is again integer, a number, and this variable name is b. And now the value is 20. Okay, so there are these two values. And now the third variable, I have just created it. I don't have any value, because what I want to do, I will add this a and b, and I'll put that value into the c. So what this statement is, c equals to a plus b. It is just a mathematical expression. So what it is doing right now, it is adding a into b, and then c is the value where it will put that value. So these a, b, c. So what it is doing right now, it is actually allocating a memory into RAM right now. So what it will do when it will execute it, then it will allocate a variable or a space to a, which will have the value of 10, a space to b, which will have the value of 20. It will also have the space for c, but it will not have any value because we don't have anything yet. So when we are going to execute it, what it does, okay, one more thing, Java executes the program from top to down. So first what it is going to do, it is going to create this a in the memory, then create this b in the memory, then create the c without any value. So, and then what it will do, it will create this c equals to a plus b. Then it will add these two numbers, it will store it into c. And this is something system.out.println, which is something which we will use to show the output into this console, as we showed some string like hello world from developers college or this something. Okay, so now we have created a method. Okay, this is how we are going to add two numbers. Okay, now if suppose I run this program right now. Okay, what's that? This is a different. See, it there was an error in different package, different class, so it did not let me execute the file. So it should be green on all the classes actually. So this was the addition class. What I'll do, I'll run it again. Okay, see, it executed a class. Nothing is there because we have it here. We have the method here. Okay, but we don't have anything. See, what it will do, it will start the execution from main, meaning this statement, and it will end the execution here. Okay, and it won't do anything. Even though we specified everything here, like what we want to do, it will not be created here. So why it is that? So this is a method. See, suppose we have created a class, okay, and we want to use that class. So I told you we need to create an instance of that class that is called object. Okay, so this particular thing, if suppose I don't have this method right now, what I'll do, I'll just remove it from here. I'll put this thing inside this main, and if I suppose do this, so we have this method, we don't have anything inside this. What I'm going to use, I'm going to add a number, and then I'm going to do the same thing here inside the main. If I suppose execute it right here, see, it says 30. So it has added these two numbers, 10 plus 20, and then shows the output, like, because we are showing the output with this statement. So whatever is inside this bracket, it will be put it out. So if it is this, like if it doesn't follow any any inverted commas, like if suppose I write it like this, if suppose I write it like this, so what it is going to print, it will not print this 30, it will print only C. So whatever is inside these inverted commas, so it will be printed as it is. If you want to print a value of it, then you have to remove this. Okay, so as we see, it has printed this 30. So now this is a simple execution. We have everything in system here. So if suppose we have multiple things, different things to do in the same class. So if suppose I'm going to do everything inside this particular method, I am going to write code in code again and again and again, a lot of code. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to replace this from here. I'm going to put it here again. So now we have this method which is actually responsible for doing this. So now we have the method, but still, as we saw, when we are running this code, we don't see anything. We don't see any output. Why? Because we have something in main. We should have used that thing. So how to use this? This is a class actually, and we are inside this class. So now we are going to create an object. And how to create an object? So for creating an object, you have to type the name of the class. What is the class name? This addition. Okay. Then you have to use a reference, or maybe use a name, whatever you want to use. Suppose I want to call it ABC. Then equals to, then there is new, and then again class name. When you started writing it, it showed you some suggestion. I'm going to use the first one. Okay. So this is something I wrote it right now. So what is this? This is a method how to create an object of a class. So what it is going to refer, whatever we are going to do inside this, we can call it by this object. Okay, so now this object has a behavior that add two numbers. Okay, so now I want to call that. What I'm going to do, how do we do that? Like that ABC, then we put, whenever we would want to do some internal operation, whatever it is specified, we put a dot. How is it? So when I put dot, it gave me this suggestion. This is M. M is a method. So add two numbers. I'll use this and see it, put it the semicolon here. And if suppose I run it right now, see, now it gives me the output. Earlier, it was not giving me the output because we were not using anything inside this void main, system main inside this. Now, just because we are calling this particular method inside here, this is how we call a method. It means when you are going to details, this is how we are going to do in more terms. So this is how I created an object name. This is just the name of object for this particular class. So whenever you want to create an object, you just specify like this. You specify the name of the class. You want to give a name which you want to use, and then you want to type a new keyword. So what it does, it will create a new instance of this particular class. And this is a constructor. This is constructor. How constructor works, this is how we create an object. The constructors are used to initialize or instantiate a class. So this is how we created and now suppose if I want one more time to do the same thing. So what I'll do, there was another, I can create another instance of this class. Suppose I want to create, I'll do that again, addition. Now I'll name it XYZ, and then again the same keyword new, and then again this. Yeah. So now I have created another instance of this particular class XYZ. I'll do that again, XYZ dot add two numbers. And now suppose if I run it, see, now it has printed two times. So what I did, I actually cloned this particular class two times. So I can do it multiple times, many times, how many times, whatever we want. We can do it multiple times. So that's the reason so if suppose we don't have this particular object creation, so if I wanted to print this two times, I have to rotate two times. Okay, so just we are saved by that. Now we can create an object, so it will do the same thing. So this is how we create an object. This is the statement. So this is the class name, variable, sorry, the class name. This is just the name of that particular object, then equals to, then this is new. This is the keyword which is used to create a new instance of the class. And this again, this is the constructor addition, and then these braces. So this is how we create an object of a class. So this is what we are going to use in all the programming. So whenever we want to use a reference or we want to use an existing class, so we will create this object. Okay, so this is what we did actually. So this was public right now. Okay, and now let's do something more. Okay, now I wanted to actually explain you what is public private program modifier. So what I'll do, I'll create another class here. Just I'll give any name, use addition again. Okay, so now I have another class, use addition again. I'll have that same method, public static void main. Okay, now I know there is a class addition which actually adds these two numbers. I'm in another class. I don't want to touch that class. I want to use that thing into my class, this new class here. So what I want to do, I'll do, I'll again create an object. So how do we do that? We want to create an object of the existing class, not this class. Use addition, not this class. We want to create an object of existing class because we want to use that. So what I'll do, I'll type the name of the class, then I can name it anything. Then again new keyword, then again the same thing. This is how I created the object of that class. So we are not into that class, and now I'll do the same thing. I'll see this ABC in dot add two numbers. Okay, now if I run this program, just because I want to reuse that, I have created the object of existing class where I know I did everything. Now I don't need to type whole whole addition logic here. I can use this and just I can run it here. And when I run it, see, you can see the output here 30. So this is how we create an object from different class also. So this is why it is important, so that at least we can reuse things. We don't have to write the code all over again. Okay, so this was a simple thing. Okay, now what we want to see, that public private protected. So this was public. What I want to do, I'll make this method as private. Okay, now I don't have it public, I have this private. I'll go to here again. Okay, so now I wanted to use this add two numbers into different class. Okay, see, now it is giving me error. It says add two numbers has private access in this particular class, so that I'm not able to access it. If suppose I run it, just because it says red, see, this add two numbers has private access in developer college demo edition, so it is not able to access it. So this is why this private keyword is used. Suppose if we want to do something in a class and we don't want other class to access that, then we will specify it as private. So this is a encapsulation. This is how we are going to secure it. Okay, see, if suppose I don't have it here, I don't have anything here. If I go into the other second class again, see, that error is gone. Okay, if I execute it here, see, I get the output here 30. So when we don't have any public private protected modifier keyword, then it is a default access. It is visible for whole package. Okay, so in same way we have protected, we have default, public, protected, and private. We saw the private. Private is basically that was the important one, so that at least we can use it. So if we specify private again, we'll have the error again, so we can't use it. Okay, so that's the reason we have to put it public here. Okay, so this is how these access modifier works. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we have 3 minutes. I'm not sure we can go through again. Maybe because it will be again much. Okay, so this is the institution of class, means class name, variable name equals to new class name, which we just saw right now, how to create an object. Okay, we saw another project. This is the parameter thing, which we might see in next time, because it might take some time. Actually, we can't wrap it up in 2 minutes. But okay, maybe we can take questions right now. Disilva, is it okay, or should we continue? Because if we want, we can go ahead, and we want to see these variables because we just use one variable, that is int. Actually, we want to use all different types of variables. This was just an example to show you, but there are different variables.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ankush. I think once the meeting ends now, we'll start it again. So I sent a message into the chat. It's fine. I think you can continue, but I know so many people have a lot of questions right now, because really, I won't lie to anyone. When I started programming, I was like you. Sometimes the teacher will be talking and I will be finding it difficult to understand. And I was like, okay, so how are we going to apply this? How is this going to work? I've been there, I understand. Just try to follow with Ankush. When he's done, then he would will try to do some little real life scenario examples of everything he has explained. Because some words will be new to you people, like when he talks about modifier, identifiers. So people will just be listening. Okay, speaking English. Okay, modifier. How does this work? But when you get into the real thing, that's when you begin to understand how all these things come together. Ankush, well done. You can go ahead and continue.
Okay. Okay, maybe it has only 1 minute, so it would be better if I'll stop it and then we can start the meeting again.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks.